I think you said something on the boat about meeting with Howard. Did you ever meet with Howard after trial?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Let's see how that go down. Yeah, I think Howard called me, told me I could. Okay, so I was after the animal stuff. Like seriously, I was like people killing animals. I was doing that, and then I was trying to get myself close to Carol and Howard because I hate them worse than anything. I got a secret hate that's real deep because I know what they did to me. And so I was trying to get close to him. So me and a guy who works for me was offered a tour of Big Cat Rescue. So I went and met him for lunch at that little Longhorn Steakhouse right in front of Big Cat Rescue.
After trial?
Yeah, after this was all over. And he showed me around. Only took me to certain areas. I knew the layout of Big Cat Rescue.
Right.
So he only showed me what he wanted me to see. And I knew that. And Carol was there. Carol showed up afterwards. She just sat there, didn't say a word. Because she knows what she caused me. And then I quit talking to him. Because I was trying to get in there. Get a scoop. Because I wanted to get Carol bad. Like I probably had worse hate for Carol than Joe did, probably. Mm. But I'd handle mine a little differently.
Right.
So yeah, I went there and met him for lunch, toured the place and left. And then didn't talk to him since. And then that YouTuber, when Carol accidentally sent her personal stuff to him, the fucking letter of me, that little part of her diary where she says that James did this and that. It's bullshit. It pissed
I
me
never
off.
got that. Rebecca was supposed to send it to me.
I sent it to Florida without a A.
Yeah.
So she sent this paragraph about me. I can't believe James would help me get Joe because he was one of our top people, whatever, that we wanted done. And we took credit for taking him out. So she claims in her diary that I was in it in a big paragraph. And it just set me off.
I bet.
And then I started making cameo videos of everyone I'd end with. The bitch killed her fucking husband,
Yeah.
And that set him off. And then Howard sent me this message that he was going to sue me. I said, it's my personal opinion. Then I called Sandra. I said, yeah, can I say this? She said, yes, your opinion, right? Yeah, it's my opinion. Roll with it. So in every video, I made 500 cameo videos. And all 500 of them. And I did one for the one of the mayor's aide in New York City. Like I did some for some pretty high people. And the only reason they were booking me is because I would do it on a jet ski. And fuck that bitch Carol Baskin. She definitely killed her husband. And she got mad over those cameo videos. So Howard threatened to sue me. And that's the last I heard about him.
Can you send me the emails from Howard?
I don't have emails from him. I can probably get a text.
See.
By text.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that, I need to be careful on my cameo videos. I think what he said. Like I need to be careful.
Says the unlicensed lawyer.
Yeah, but I guess he told me he was a lawyer.
He is, but he's unlicensed, so technically he's not even supposed to say he's a lawyer.
Oh, okay, yeah, he told me he was a lawyer. But yeah, and then Carol, and then whenever she made that $1 million on cameos, I just lost it. Because I mean, why is this? And I don't know why they're giving her so much money, but yeah, I just lost it. So
here's the question: before you testified,
mm-hmm.
did you talk to Howard?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, he wanted updates. You just triggered my damn memory.
Yeah.
So.
It's typing, Amy.
Yeah. So I did. Yes, I did talk to Howard by text message, and he told me that he appreciated the fact that I was getting the cubby beaters off the street because they told me everybody that killed tigers Matt Bryant was going to get. And yeah, I did talk to Howard on several occasions.
Do you have those texts?
Possibly.
Be on that phone.
No, that one's too.
Possibly.
During trial, he was texting you?
Oh, not during the actual trial? No,
Yeah.
not during the trial, no.
Because he was there.
Yeah, not during the trial.
Leading up to trial?
Leading up to trial, yes.
That's enormous.
Just Howard? What else?
Just
did you
Howard.
talk about?
Just Howard.
Besides him thanking you.
That's it. And if I had anybody that worked at Mario Tribau's, I'm like, I ain't fucking around with that.
But so Howard was saying
He basically lumped me in the same category as him. We're trying to get rid of Joe.
right.
We're trying to do
You're
this.
going to be You're going to be protected by us and everybody else because you're on our side. You're not on government side.
You notice nobody's bothering the USD license or nothing right now.
Yeah. That's a big deal. And my heart just grew 2 sizes at you. Like I appreciate this. And I'm
I'll tell you
aware
the
of
truth.
level of
It's just such a shit show throughout the end. But yeah, I met Howard after it was like a celebration meal after Joe was convicted. Is when I met him at Big Cat Rescue. I was just driving through there, and he's like, "Well, let's meet for lunch." And then Carol knows my hatred because Carol called security over me before because we used to go to these fishing game. The public meetings that the fishing game would have, and we had one in Gainesville one time. And I was a little unhinged back in the day. I'm not going to say I was pretty violent back in the day. Like it was no problem for me to just freaking run up and hit on somebody or whatever. That was just how I was. I grew up in the project, a redheaded kid. I was the only white person in my school. I grew up in the ghetto, so I was just whatever. I had it in me. And so at a meeting, Carol found out that I was sitting in a row behind her. And she called a bunch of fishing game and to escort her out.
What a lunatic.
Because the week before that, she started calling my neighbor that I lived next to in Lake City. And I had a business and my neighbor was in it and she was kind of disgruntled because, after business, people get disgruntled. Mm. So she was calling my neighbor and then she was calling this guy named Roger Fig that I had living on my property. He didn't have anywhere to go with his cat, so I let him live in my house. Well, he was reporting back to Carol. His name was Roger Fig. And this Roger Fig guy was just a total loser. And so Carol caused me a lot of problems. She caused me a breakup and all this stuff in 2006. Caused me to lose my place. I mean, she really went after me with her and Gregory Guy and them. And I mean, I got inspected every other day. And then when I got inspected, it wasn't just one inspector. I got inspected with U.S. Marshals. I mean, it was a convoy of 12, 15 cars. So every time they'd go down to my street, I lived on a dead-end street. Every time they'd go down to my dead-end street, the news reporters would be there and stuff, just to do a random inspection. Because she sucked Gregory Guy on me. And Gregory Guy is the supervisor of the USDA. And he's a real scumbag. And, yeah. So I didn't forget all that stuff that Carol did to me. But I was trying to infiltrate him. Just like when the guy offered me to buy the footage of that, I said, yeah, I want it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get all that either.
I'll send it to the other email. But yeah, I'll send it to you. But, so yeah, there was a lot of problems. And Howard probably didn't know all the stuff that Carol did to me.
Right. Because it was way before.
And then when I seen that YouTuber's letter about why I'm in her library, and I can't believe James Garretson would help me. Just
she knew. Yeah. And used the shit out of you.
They all did. I mean, really, if you look at it that way, they all use me to further their goal. And then Matt Bryant came up with this big elaborate story to play on my heartstrings with the whole animal stuff. So Matt Bryant played on me too because Matt Bryant knew where to get me. And I hate Greg Woody because I know how many stuff he's killed.
Greg Woody runs some of those canned animal hunt deals.
Woody is the ringleader of that.
Really?
And he's done a lot
People
more
don't
stuff.
even know those exist. It's so abysmal. So fucked up.
They do.
There's some in Florida, isn't there?
Now, most of them are in Texas,
Are they?
down below San Antonio.
Have you heard about this shit? You can go shoot and kill whatever.
Yeah, everybody tells me that those don't exist. I've been to one. I know they exist.
Yeah. God, white people with too much money, man.
Here's what I'm gonna do real quick. I'm gonna do this.
We don't have a notary. Kit's not here.
Oh yeah, I can get one if we need one. I'll find. I'll get that lady that drives the truck. But Joe keeps wanting me to do press conferences and shit. I'm like, let me do one, a big one.
What's your printer called?
601. HP 604. But before you print it, I got a few more questions that will spawn more information. So,
Well, I'm also thinking if
go through
he
it.
reads it and triggers something.
Yeah, that's true. But fucking talking to Howard leading up to trial and playing on the same team, it's messed up.
Come to find out, though, everybody was talking to Howard.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah. Chelsea, Yuri.
I don't know if this is true, though, but, I mean, you might want to see if there's any Howard ever sent Ashley Webster any money.
You might have after. Oh, you know this?
Just ask. I mean, I can't.
I don't know who I'd ask. Ashley ain't gonna fucking talk to me, and she ain't gonna admit it, and Howard ain't gonna fucking talk to me.
Do you have her number?
Ashley Webster?
Yeah.
No. You think she talked to me?
No, what if I called her right here on speakerphone and asked her?
Call her.
I don't have her number, though.
I get it. We have the last number, the one that she would have had. Do we? Yeah. No. It would have been on some FBI report. Hold on, let me just see what I got. I got the whole file on my computer.
Do you know what her deal is on Instagram? What her name is?
Yeah, it's Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Beast.
it is
Hold on.
It is Beastmaster.
Beast. Beastmaster, Ashley Page Webster.
Still have her on there.
Oh, I just see if she'll respond.
I can get a number. I'll have it in a minute. That would be a fucking hoot.
What else you may ask her?
Just get her number. Let's call it.
What I did is ask her if Howard gave her any money.
She may answer that.
Huh?
She might not answer that.
I said, what if I said, hey, when I was helping Howard, did he give you any money like he gave me? So
That's it. Let's see.
that'd be hilarious.
Here's Lauren's phone number. I gotta have one of these with Ashley's phone number on it. There it is. You ready?
Yeah. I'm trying to think how Howard even had my number. Matt had to give it to him because
How did you have Carol's number?
I didn't. I called the Big Cat Rescue number.
And left a message.
I didn't leave a message. I just got a voicemail and hung up. I did it right in front of
That's
Jeff.
Right. That's right.
And you know, Jeff changed the whole story that I was calling to warn her. No, I was calling to sell the property. So he lied about that.
Well, because he didn't want that financial motivation to be a part of the.
Oh, No.
record.
Here's a text message for Webster saying, the sheriff department won't call me back. They haven't arrested Jeff over my report. Captain White at the Wynnewood Sheriff's Office is not taking me seriously. Can you send the report and give it to the feds? We have to do something. He's not going to stop hurting women. She doesn't even know if she was even raped.
But she wants Jeff taken down. Did Ripper send you that?
No, Ashley Webster.
Really?
Like, she called me out of the blue, and I'm like,
Stroll.
I didn't know who Ashley Webster was. She's like, I'm the one that started all the Tiger King. I'm like, what? Well, I'm the one that called Carol. Okay. I didn't know none of that. Kind of crazy.
It is. Is she in season 2? She must be.
Yeah, they wouldn't film with her. And I asked Eric Good. I said, dude, why'd you film her? She none of this shit makes any sense. She told me stuff like Joe used to take her out to dinner every night. Joe hates women. Joe doesn't.
She was there fucking 7
Yeah,
days?
but Joe, that's not how Joe works.
Right.
You know? She was trying to tell me the stuff that Joe was doing, and I'm like, no.
Reality is Crystal Jarbo sent me an ad for the zoo, and I applied that way. Then Jeff conned me into coming to that shithole place in Oklahoma. How can we expose her? I think Tiger King needs to get these people talking like Ripper and Michelle and Hicks, who have everything on her.
Is she on Facebook as Beastmaster?
I doubt it. Facebook doesn't really operate like that. She has a Facebook, though. I've seen it.
Ashley.
Darlene Cervantes. What's the deal with that chick?
Oh, she's a turd.
Really?
She doesn't know anything either. She doesn't know anything either.
I mean, she's just trying to buy a cub. Didn't even go through.
Yeah, she doesn't know nothing.
Like, I kept reading the testimony thinking, this is going to be good. And like hers was that she was going to buy 2 cubs for $1,000, or 2. They weren't even cubs; they were older tigers, for $1,000, and like $500 a piece. Like, that might be a delivery fee. I realize how.
No,
goes,
they used to be $500 a piece.
Was it?
Because he did it cheaper than everyone else. That's why.
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah, and you got to think Joe. Depending on how, like if Joe had 40 cubs and nowhere to go, yeah, he'd be selling them for whatever, $10, whatever. You know, he's just supply and demand.
The Darlene and Ashley Webster, you don't know. Did they ever talk?
I don't know.
I just want to who. Fucking Ashley Webster's just a fucking enigma.
I think she was a plant.
That's the question.
Yeah.
You can't prove it yet, then.
Why do you think she was a plant?
Like she came out of nowhere, came out of nowhere, and then I don't know, just seems like she was just trying to whack everybody. I mean, she called Carol. Why would you call Carol? Why wouldn't you call the cops?
Right.
That's another question. Because she was probably reporting back to Carol and Howard. Because any other person would probably call the cops.
Right.
Hey, somebody's trying to kill you.
Yeah, but somebody like her.
Why'd she go right back to Carol and said, "Hey, Carol"?
So not only did she call
Carol already
Carol
knew.
Howard.
No, Carol already knew that Joe wanted to kill her.
Right.
Right.
He made the YouTube videos.
Right.
He put it out there.
Right. And Carol just forwarded it along to Heather Hintz. Like Carol didn't call the cops either. She just forwarded it along to Heather.
That's a scumbag attorney too. No. Yeah. So that doesn't make any sense. So unless she was a Carol plant,
Yeah.
Because Carol promises people like immunity from the animal rights groups. If you're on her team, you're good. Just like the Kristen Zane guy. Carol's sitting there, oh, we don't do cub heading, or no legitimate sanctuary. Well, as long as you know Carol, you can go into a perimeter fence with a tiger. You can feed the tigers. It's all hypocrisy. But Ashley was probably a client.
She had to have been. She was in Colorado. Jeff was in Colorado.
Maybe I should have called her agent and asked.
He would die. He would fucking die. He tried, after he found out I represented Joe, he tried to get back in my good graces and was like, we need to work our stuff out. I'm like, no, I didn't even respond. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, he was worse to his wives. Did you see his 2 arrest reports? Fuck, I'll send them
He was
to
bad.
Ripper,
Ripper's
hero.
are you recording?
Sure. But for Ashley Webster to be the start of all of this stuff and get out of testifying is just bananas. She claimed PTSD, so she didn't come to trial.
Oh, really? So that's what I could have done. Damn.
No, it wasn't PTSD. It was because she couldn't travel because she was pregnant. But then they caught her traveling. Are we talking about Webster?
Right.
But then they caught her traveling just a week and a half or 2 weeks prior to when the trial was, and it was a farther distance than it was to travel to the trial.
There was something PTSD early on too. And maybe that was the deposition. They postponed their deposition at a point.
Let's see. Yeah, she hasn't responded back yet. Let's see when the last time she was on Instagram. Yeah, the last post she did is March 31st on Instagram. All media, contact Ripperjack Media.
I saw that and pissed my pants. Like,
Hey, I'm gonna call Ripper real quick. All right.
I don't care.
I'm
He's in Oklahoma, so it's 2-party consent. There's 1-party consent.
gonna ask him if he has Ashley Webster. Because I want to talk to her about Jen.
Jim Garrett. Oh God. She
Oh,
don't want
no.
me either.
She's a kook. Here we go.
Hey, it's River here. Sorry.
Did it print to your printer?
No. There's 2 of them. One of them doesn't work very well. All right. That's mainly what I have.
Yeah, why would Ashley call Carol and not call the cops?
She said it was Dawn.
How they didn't ask you, how the PD didn't ask you, because you talked about this $10,000 number repeatedly, and how Joe, you kind of oversold the Joe as a hitman thing, but it is what it is. But why didn't they ask you why you didn't call the cops at any point before the feds got involved? Like when it was that whole biker gang or you know, whatever.
Oh yeah,
else.
no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, it's
You asked the question.
yeah, it's
They did nothing. That PD was fucking terrible. Ooh, look at this monster.
how you typed all that.
Some of this was done before you got here. Remember, we've been waiting on you a couple weeks. So every day we wait, we write 7 more things for yourself.
Just read it, and if it's
Just read it to him and say true or false. True, false, or too far. You know, like, I don't want to say that. Okay. Affidavit of James Garretson. Don't sign it yet. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. State your name.
James Garretson.
You signing it? Okay.